overall, how did you enjoy your stay with TNA Wrestling?
Overall, I enjoyed it because it provided me a good living. It provided me the success that I couldn't have in other venues. I grew not just as a performer, as a wrestler, but as a person. I learned a lot. I got to see the world. I got to work with a lot of great people, and I met pretty much the best friends of my life. Not just in wrestling, but in life. So, those kind of relationships that you make, those are kind of special, and I got that all from working with TNA.
Right. So then, you had a great stay there. Then what happened at the end? Why did you leave?
Basically, my contract was coming up at the end of March. We negotiated for a renewal contract, which it took about 2 or 3 weeks, and with my agent going back and forth with the company, and we agreed to a contract. Everything was fine. We agreed that I would sign the contract the last Monday at television. So I was looking forward to another 3 years with the company, and the company was looking forward to another 3 years with me. That was on a Thursday. They told me I would sign on Monday. That next day, Friday afternoon, I got a call, and they said that some restructuring was going on in the company, and they weren't going to be able to renew my contract. So that's the business.
Did that leave you bitter at all, or no?
No, I'm not bitter at that. I wish that it would have been handled a little differently. I can't say I'm bitter. I just wish it would have been handled differently because of how long I spent with the company,
right.
Because of so much I did for the company. If it was handled a little differently, that would have been better. But again, I put 6 years in the company. I got a lot out of it, and now I'm looking towards the future. I'm looking forward to opening another door now that one door is closed, and everything happens for a reason, like they say in our culture. So one door is closed, and another's going to open soon enough.
Do you think that the company pushes big guys? Because even if you look at Rey Mysterio back in his early WCW days and now, he's put on quite a bit of muscle, sure. Right? Yes. Even you consider Eddie Guerrero when he was WCW and when he was world champion, it's like there's a big difference, right? Yeah. So do you think that the company behind the scenes maybe say pack on a few pounds and then you might get a better push kind of style? Or is that the industry in a nutshell kind of?
I don't think that anybody's going to tell you put on a few pounds and you'll get a better push. I think that those things are just unsaid in the professional wrestling industry. It's just known that if you want to get a better spot, or if you want to get pushed to a higher level, that you've got to increase your size and look as best as you can. Right. And even if you look at me compared from now until last year at the same time, I look like two different people, because I realized that my body wasn't in the position that it needed to be. I wanted to be taken more seriously. I made those steps and I made those changes. I completely transformed my body, and as you can, it kind of paid off, because last year, me and Jay Lethal were kind of the focal points of the company with the feud that we had that went on for about a year and a half.
Right. And you wrestled under Sonjay Dutt, but then you kind of transformed into the Guru.
Yes.
And that is kind of like a Swami, kind of Indian, wholesome guy. Exactly. And who developed that Guru gimmick for you?
One of the writers with TNA, his name is Dutch Mantell. He's been writing and booking wrestling for many, many years. He used to book a territory in Memphis, and this is what he told me, is that he had that gimmick for a couple guys down in Memphis back in the 70s, and he kind of transformed it and tweaked it to fit me in 2008 when we started it. So that all came from him. But after that, when he first gave me the gimmick and I first started it, I got a little direction on what they wanted. But from then on until my last days with the company, it was 100% me doing what I felt was right with the character and kind of transforming it and giving it my own spin and throwing a little of my own personality into it.
Would you rule out a comeback to TNA wrestling, or is that?
In wrestling, you can't rule out anything, man.
Right.
You never say never with wrestling, because anything can happen. Just look at the history of pro wrestling and some of the things that have happened over the years. So I'm never going to say never to anything. That door is always going to be open.
Right.
Everything that happened at the end, it was all on good terms.
Okay.
There was no ill feelings towards anybody. That's just how it is. That's the business. That's life.
Right.
Wrestling is a crazy, crazy business, and when you get into it and you've been in it for these many years, you learn to kind of accept those things. Those things are going to happen. It's part of the job. It's the nature of the business.
So there's no bitterness between you and TNA for, because technically they said they want you, yes. And then they said, all right, we don't want you. Now, if they said you didn't want you from the beginning, then it wouldn't be such a surprise.
It would have been a different story.
So
sure.
I can see why you would be bitter. But apparently you're not, right, at all? Or I can't say yes or no, kind of.
I don't know. I don't know yet. It's still so fresh. I can't really say. But like I said, I do wish things would have happened differently. Because like I said, if from the beginning they said, hey, we can't renew you, okay, that's fine. That happens. That happens all the time in wrestling. I'll move on. But if you tell me one thing and then you tell me another thing, 3 days before I'm supposed to sign a contract, it totally changes your perspective on life, because you have a mindset of what's going to happen for the next 3 years in your life, and now all of a sudden that it's changed. Right. So it's a transition, it's an adjustment, but like I said, it's going to make me stronger. And like I said, one door is closed, another one's going to open. I'm just looking towards the future. Right. I don't want to look back to the past. I don't want to dwell on things. That does nothing positive for anybody. So I'm just looking forward to the future.
Right. And you mentioned WWE, and I've read reports online, like as many people, and some say they are interested in looking towards you, and you're saying you're interested in working towards them. Has there been any contact between you two companies-wise?
You know what? I read the same thing online. I don't know where that came from, but for my sake, I hope it's true.
All right.
But no contact has been made yet. Technically, I'm still in the contract with TNA, so once things end, hopefully, they give me a call or whatnot, because I did see those things online. But hey, it's the internet,
anything goes there, right?
Exactly. So time will tell. See what things happen.
But you would be interested, obviously.
Of course.
Of course, you would listen to what they had to say.
Any professional wrestler, you ask everybody in TNA, no matter where you are, they're going to want to be at the WWE. That's the top. That's the best. So, for me to say no, that I'm lying. Everybody wants to be at that position.
Right. So you think most TNA wrestlers would jump ship to WWE if they had the opportunity?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll jump ship if they have the opportunity, but every professional wrestler, deep down in their heart, they want to be at that top level with the WWE. And I can say that for a fact.
So if WWE did call, how would you work with them? You think you could work well with Kali and bring in the more Indian audience, or?
Sure. I think definitely. First thing, you're going to see me, and you're going to see an Indian, and a company like WWE is surely going to want to jump on that,
right,
and take advantage of that and tap into that big market that they have. They've got TV over there. They're so popular over there.
Right.
I know that they're thinking about doing some tours in the upcoming months and seasons and stuff. So, naturally, I think that would be a perfect fit.
Right. And you were actually, I was reading another article online, and there was actually some protest that you were never given the X Division Championship or even given the ball to run with the X Division belt. Do you have any bitterness toward that, or was it just like, it wasn't my time for the belt?
I don't know.
Because you were considered the guy who should have had the belt guaranteed, kind of.
Sure.
Right, and it just never came about. Was it just booking issues, or was it just?
I think it was just booking issues. Every time there's a title holder, there's a specific booking pattern that's based around that guy and the next guy. And like I said last year, for instance, for the last year and a half, me and Jay were doing our feud. So our feud was not based on the title; it was based on the girl.
Right.
So like I said, it's just booking issues.
Okay.
that never really fit in.
So it wasn't a really hinder to you.
No,
not at all, right?
No.
Yes, y'all. Johnny Bro here with Sonjay Dutt. I can't say former TNA wrestling superstar now, I guess.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, former TNA wrestling superstar. I don't need to mention TNA wrestling at all. Here's the speed round. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. I want a quick answer, top of your head. If you can't think of something, you can also say pass if you can't get answer in your head. All right, let's start. Favorite person to get in the ring with?
Lately, Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal. Your dream match?
Let's see, Sabu.
Sabu and you? And what type of match would that be? Just a classic match?
Just a classic match. I always looked up to him growing up, so.
Worst match that you were a part of that you just said, you know what, that was pretty bad when you went back through the curtain?
Actually, in 2007, I was a part of the worst match of the year voted in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. It was the Reverse Battle Royal.
I remember actually seeing that, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. So you had to throw the guy into the ring, or what was it exactly?
Well, no, everybody started on the outside of the ring.
Yep.
And the goal was you had to climb into the ring.
Okay, and the other guys had to stop you?
When you climbed into the ring, then it was a battle royal. Bro, none of us knew what was going on either.
So who developed that one?
I think that was a Russo idea.
Oh, man. Last time you got into a real fight outside the ring?
I almost got into one back in 2000.